Been a while since I've taken you all to the Upper East Side, but we are in for a great selection of gallery exhibits today, starting at Skarstedt Gallery to see these works by David Salle. These works explore the theme of nature, specifically human nature. And in them, Salle asks the question, is masculinity toxic nature or just nature? He paints these sort of cartoon-inspired characters, male and female, separated by these trees. And the male figures exhibit traits of cluelessness, timidness, being forlorn or overconfident to almost predatory, or straight up predatory. The women exhibit traits of being guarded and apprehensive, amused, and in flight. And it's significant that the canvas is split into two different planes if you look closely. This is meant to represent the past and the present, the sort of under and upper world and the relationship between the two. It's almost like Salle is saying, the past is still with us, or this is how we got here. The next stop is Gagosian Gallery to see an exhibit by Nathaniel Quinn titled Not Far From Home, Still Far Away. In this exhibit, Quinn is probing the relationship between perception and memory. In his collage-like portraits, he's trying to capture all of the details that cross through someone's mind when they're having an interaction with an individual, the conscious and the unconscious. And the variations in these paintings and works on paper come from a wide range of materials. That's how he gets such an incredible array of textures. He's using charcoal, gouache, oil paint, oil sticks, and pastels. And Quinn is quoted as saying, "I hope to convey a sense of how our experiences, both good and bad, operate to construct our identities. I also want to portray a mutual relationship between the acceptable and the unacceptable, the grotesque and what is aesthetically pleasing." The next stop is Lévy Gorvy Gallery to see an exhibit by Mickalene titled Beyond the Pleasure Principle. And this is one installation of the exhibit. There's actually 3 others that are taking place in London, Paris, and Hong Kong. And the title, Beyond the Pleasure Principle, is inspired by Janet Jackson, her song, and a 1920 landmark essay by Sigmund Freud. The paintings in this exhibit are created from archival photos of Black women sourced from vintage jet pinup calendars. And they're created kind of like Quinn from a really lovely variety of materials such as silkscreen, oil and acrylic paint, and rhinestones. Thomas's work often revolves around the representation of Black women's bodies in art, media, and politics, and she usually uses her friends and family as inspiration for her subject matter. But for this exhibit, she's ventured outside of that, and she's used external sources from Jet Magazine, as I mentioned earlier. And Jet Magazine used to feature Beauties of the Week, and they did this in an effort to defy Eurocentric beauty standards and promote the enterprises of young Black women. And she's used these women in her paintings because she wants to shift how these women are being perceived. She wants them not to be viewed as objects, but as women who have their power back, who have their own narrative. I also just love the collage-like aspect of her work. She attributes it to Romare Bearden, Jacob Lawrence, Faith Ringgold, as well as Picasso and Henri Matisse. I feel like I'm definitely getting Picasso vibes from this one in particular. Now we're heading over to Petzel Gallery's Upper East Side location. And for this, Petzel has actually done something really special. They've collaborated with the Tribeca-based gallery Page. And this exhibit consists of works by 9 emerging artists, and it's been curated by Lucas Page, the owner of Page NYC. And it's a show about the power and the glamour of image. And I think it's got such an incredible variety of different ways to show figuratism, whether that be through, sculpture, painting, collage again, loving all the collages. Next is Anne Collier's exhibit at Anton Kern Gallery. And Anne is a New York-based artist whose work looks at society's relationships with images and the medium of photography. She specifically dives into the emotional and psychological attachments we develop with images and how these autobiographical narratives relate to photography's inherent relationship with memory and melancholia and loss. I think this is my favorite floor of the exhibit, particularly these two images, just the way that they're hung and that melancholy that they capture, I just think is so powerful. On the third floor of Anton Kern Gallery, there's an exhibit by Yuli Yamagata. And this exhibit takes place over two locations, the one that we're seeing here, and then another at a mattress store in Basel, Switzerland, as a part of Art Basel. And the exhibit that we're seeing here is meant to represent a character that's currently sleeping in the mattress store in Art Basel. And this show is representing this character's dreams spilling out from him. So the creations in this gallery space are these characters' unconscious desires and fears. It's one of the more unique exhibits I've seen in a while. I will give it a 10 out of 10 for creativity. The final exhibit of the day is Trubkovich's at Park and 75 Gallery, which is kind of the young and hip gallery of Gagosian. Think of it as like an imprint for a publication. And the paintings are meant to represent recollection. And the artist does this through his reproduction of paintings that look like they're old surveillance footage. And this style is really meant to speak to how personal and collective memories can contradict one another, which complicates ideas of historical truth. I feel like this is contemporary impressionism at its finest. Almost pointillism, actually. Let me know which exhibit was your favorite. There were quite a few different ones to choose from, so I would love to hear which one spoke to you the most. And I will see you all in my next video.